Hi guys, it's Sam here from Bargain Hunting Blonde, and today I am bringing you a video which is my bags I love but I would not pay retail for. So backstory on this, I have been talking to a lot of you on Instagram, and if you follow me on Instagram you'll have seen in my stories, I really love the Saint Laurent quilted tote, which I think is the Icar. It looks like Icar, but that's not how it's pronounced in French. But regardless, I really like that tote. And I was looking at it before it had the big price increase and I knew it was coming. I was like, should I buy it at $4,400 or should I not? So this is kind of where that video came from. I had some really great discussions with you guys about like, should I get it or should I not? So that kind of gives away bag number one. And bag number one, which I'll put up a picture if you don't know what I'm talking about, is the Saint Laurent quilted tote. I'm not going to try to pronounce the French version. And that bag now retails for $4,900, which is a lot of money for any bag, is a lot of money for a Saint Laurent bag. And I do understand that it is mainly leather. There's that really big hardware piece on it. It's very beautiful, but I'm not sure Saint Laurent warrants that price point. And I have actually recently sold off most of my Saint Laurent bags. I think I have one left. I actually have more Saint Laurent ready to wear and shoes than I do bags because I just find that I don't use them. And when I think about, oh, I could use this Saint Laurent bag or I could use this Louis Vuitton or Chanel or Hermes bag, I'd rather use one of the other bags. And so when I started thinking about that, I was like, well, this is Saint Laurent. Am I going to carry it? And then price-wise, I started thinking, well, say I get it at the $4,400 with tax, I'm still looking at another, like, you know, I'm looking right under $5,000. Now with tax, it's solidly over $5,000. And in my head, I started thinking like, well, what could I buy that I'd rather have at Hermes? What could I buy that I'd rather have at Louis Vuitton? You know, we still have rooms in the house that have no furniture in them. Like, you know, what could I buy for the house? And it was just like, I don't think this bag at that price point is exactly what I want. If I could find it at a lower price point, pre-loved, I would definitely consider it. So that's kind of my thinking on that bag. But then even more, and one of you really pointed this out to me, which was a very astute insight, is that if you're not storing that bag correctly, it does not look good. So I have seen some people who have carried their tote a lot, like Jess from She's the Posh. Her tote looks great. But then I see other people who, I'm not sure how they're storing it or what's going on, but the quilts get really weird and like crinkly and it just does not look good. It does not at all look like that basically $5,000 price point. So I would not buy this bag US retail. Like I said, if I could find it pre-loved for under the $4,000 range, I'd consider it. If I was traveling to Europe anytime soon and was getting that back, I would consider it, especially with the euro to the dollar. But I don't have any plans to head to Europe until a big European vacation. One of my really good friends is getting married in London in July, and so we're gonna bookend it with, my husband's never been to Switzerland and Zurich, which if you guys know and been watching me for a long time, basically lived there for like 2 years with how often I was there. And so we're gonna spend the first part in Switzerland, then we're gonna go to London and do the wedding and do some things in London, which is another place that I spent a lot of time for work in the Mayfair area, because that's where my work's office is in London. And then we're gonna go to Paris. So we're gonna kind of make a nice little long, probably roughly 2 weeks adventure of the wedding. So I was told I could not go to Europe until then. But if maybe this is still on my radar, I'll consider it. Bag number two. Also a bag that I post on my stories, because I really do like these bags. It is the Louis Vuitton side trunk, which I'll put up a picture. First, let's talk about the monogram. So that one's $3,800, and I was just on the LV website, still in stock. I'd assume that's because of the price point. Second is the denim, which is like this really pretty like gray denim. That is $3,950. That one is also online. And then lastly is the leather, which they're calling fashion leather, that comes in black and tan. That is $4,350, excuse me guys. That was not in stock. I thought the use of fashion leather was interesting, so I had to look into what Louis Vuitton considers fashion leather, and that is, according to them, that's all written down, the monogram debossed calfskin leather. So I guess it's not Emprunt, which is what I thought it was. So I think it's smoother than Empreinte, maybe more similar to what the Cousin bag is made of, but I love the look of the trunks. Like I have the Hatbox bags, which actually, let me grab one. I have one right here. That is like the round Boutique Chapeau Souple or something like that, which I cannot say. I do have both. So this is the large monogram version, which is limited edition and is currently out of its dust bag for a hot second because I was wearing it. And as you guys will see, I know some people have asked, and I'll just segue into this real quick. These are all in their dust bags at the moment because I am filming for you guys a Hermes collection, handbag collection video. So I'm trying not to like reveal them before that video comes out. So that's number one. And then number two, this is actually how I store them. So I do not take my bags out of their dust bags to store them. They'll be out of their dust bags when I'm kind of like rotating through them. But in general, I prefer them to be stored like this. I do have a big window in my handbag closet because it's technically a room. And yeah, I have that many. I needed a room. And so I just want them to be safe from all the elements. And so this is how I keep them. I might, if I think about it and really like want to, for some videos might take more and more of them out, but I am sitting in front of my Hermes cabinet and I don't want to show those to you guys yet. Okay, back to the bag. So the side trunk, I love the trunk bags from Louis Vuitton. I think it's very much like what Louis Vuitton is known for, and so I love that. I, again, do not love the price point. That is number one. Number two, especially with the monogram canvas, the slouch worries me about how the canvas is going to wear. We all know that Louis Vuitton canvas will crack. It happens, and you know, sometimes it's just you've used the bag a ton and that's just kind of its wear. That to me is more acceptable, but I am worried with this slouch and then the heavy hardware on the corners that the canvas might just crack because of how the bag is made. And this is a new bag, so kind of worries me to buy one and then see that happen to the bag. So that's an issue for me as well. And then again, I think the US pricing on this bag is really high, and I know that it is cheaper in Europe or somewhere where you're getting that back or pre-loved. So if I'm still interested in this bag further down the road, I might consider it, but US retail, it's a hard no for me. And lastly is kind of a whole group of bags that I do love, because when I say it, you guys will be like, you own tons of those, and I do, but it is the Bottega Veneta bags. Specifically right now, I was just looking at the cassette bag and the cassette with chain bag, and they have gotten so expensive. I knew they were having a price increase, and I just happened to be the other day browsing Bottega Veneta bags because I really do think the quality and the craftsmanship and the leather is stunning on those bags, but I did not realize that the normal padded cassette is $4,500, and then the cassette with chain is $5,500. That is insane, and these bags do not hold their value. So once I saw that, I was like, okay, well, let me see like if the pre-loved market has changed to reflect those prices, and I was still seeing them around the $2,000 mark on Fashion File, which is not the cheapest place to buy pre-loved bags from. So I will say the craftsmanship on these bags is great, but if you guys follow me on Instagram at all, you'll know I'm constantly posting deals on these bags from different European websites where you're getting them for $1,000 off that retail price. So I would not buy a Bottega Veneta bag at those price points. I know we have seen tons and tons of price increases, and it's just getting to the point of where like, it's like wild to me how expensive some of these bags have gotten. And I don't think what's going on with the economy warrants that. And I don't think, honestly, what it is warrants that. And I love designer handbags, but like, you are not, like, Bottega cannot tell me that they are hand making all their bags like Hermes's. Because they're not. And if you guys watch, what does he call his name? I'll put it down below. But the guy on Instagram who I'm always reposting his stories and his reels because I find it fascinating. As he'll point out, like, Hermes really doesn't put what they call makeup on their leather. They really use quality hides, and a lot of other fashion houses don't, and you can see that. Like, watching him scrape off all that makeup off a Chanel Caviar bag is wild, and it's one of the reasons I don't like Caviar. So I think that bag prices are just getting insane, and some of these bag brands especially don't warrant the price. Hermes is Hermes and they've always been up there, but that like Saint Laurent is thinking that they can be in the price point of like the $5,000 range. Like, that's crazy to me. Absolutely crazy. But let me know down below what bags you guys would not buy at the US retail price. I'd be fascinated to know. I know everyone's got their own opinions, and I think as bag prices have gotten more and more expensive, more and more people, the list of what they will and will not buy has gotten longer. And I'd love to talk to you guys about that. Also, please feel free, if you don't want to comment down below, DM me on Instagram. I love to talk handbags. You are never bothering me when you're DMing me about handbags. Where I'm working right now is really crazy. I am seconded at a client for my law firm, and they are very, very much always in the news, and I have taken over all US litigation. So I love to talk about handbags because it's something that does not work. So please feel free to DM me, comment down below. Thank you so much for tuning in today, guys, and I will see you in my next one. Oh, and make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, the notification bell. As I mentioned, I'm going to be in and out just because life is crazy right now, but I'm trying to get out content as much as possible. If you want to see more content, please make sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, my blog, all of which are linked down below. I update those much more regularly. Okay, now, thank you so much for tuning in today, guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys!